you have audio and video, and it's okay. Since no one, oh good, okay. Thank you, Chris. I was gonna say, since nobody said anything, you probably can't see me and you probably can't hear me. So okay, we are good. I am so glad. And yes, as you can see, we're back on the boat. So uh-huh. Yep. So it's nice here right now. It's beautiful. We had a little rain the other day. We're gonna get more coming, but why sit at home in the rain when you can sit on a boat in the rain?
It's chilly and rainy in San Diego, and that means no one's here at all except Jill and I, which is
Nice.
really, really nice.
Yes, it is awesome. So good. And I love the notes that I see. I don't think everyone in the room can see them yet. You will in a few minutes that you are popping in. So keep them coming. Load us up. This is your time. So this is our weekly member call for our Land Academy community, and we want to answer anything you want to talk about land, working with your spouse, gosh, setting myself up for success. What do I do with all this money?
I mean, we're
What's a
seeing
deed restriction? Bring it.
the most recent, probably 4 or 5 months, we're seeing a tremendous uptick, or maybe it's just being communicated to Jill and I, a huge uptick in success.
Yeah.
And so keep them coming.
Well, and I
Uh,
love it because going into 2025, a lot of people were concerned.
yeah.
And then halfway through 2025, a lot of people are concerned. But for those of you who stuck to the course, put your heads down, and just kept doing deals, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm doing just fine and good for you. So, and I'm excited for 2026. It's going to be even better, I think. So cool. All right, do
Hey,
we?
load your deals up as early in the call as possible, just so Jill and I can gauge from a time standpoint. And we have some real interesting questions that we haven't opened to the group yet that are they're not about real estate. They're more about, you know,
Hmm.
other things, which I think learning to buy and sell real estate is not that hard. It's the other stuff that surrounds it. Working with your spouse. What do I do with the money? Where's the next deal coming from? Those kind of nagging questions that aren't real estate specific. They're all, they're life. It's about life.
Yep. So, and of course, a few housekeeping items. You guys know, the Q&A is for the questions, and the chat is for the goof off and the chatter and the quick little stuff. So, got that great. And I'm going to show you the format. We have a format, if you can. And of course, always check your APNs before they get to us. Make sure they work in Parcel Fact so we can pull them up. Let's see what else here. Oh, wins. And you can put your wins in the chat too. And we have an announcement. Oh yeah, next week is Thanksgiving. Shucks. I kind of forgot we won't be doing the call next Thursday. I'm all la 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 la. It's Thanksgiving. And then I forget. Oh yeah, it does fall on the same day as our call. So we will not be having a call next week. So I hope you even really take advantage of our time today while you have us, but we'll be back right after the holiday. Here is the format. If you need it, take a quick screenshot so you know all the 8 A's that we still use to this day, for all of our level 1 due diligence on every single deal. I don't care what it is. These are the things that we go through. And I hope that you're using all those columns in Deal Complete because it's set up for you to make sure you don't miss anything.
Yep.
Right? So if you've got a win, we want to know. And here's some that came to us earlier this week to share today. Megan T said, I just hit my first $100,000 month in revenue. Isn't that amazing? Can you that's life changing.
Yep.
It really is. And so congratulations, Megan, and thank you for sharing with us. She said it took 10 months of learning and pushing through fear, but now the system is really working. And that's great. And that's what you need to do sometimes. You might have some, we did a talk on this, I think it was early this year, like stop rushing it. People come in and go, how fast can I make this much money? Can I do a deal in 90 days and make 50 grand? Like, let's slow down and do this right. So, I mean, is it possible? Yeah. Does it mean, could you miss some valuable learning opportunities? Yes. I'd rather you take the time, and you did a great talk about, budgeting your time and budgeting your funds and giving, like the first 90 days education, the next 90 days, let's do this. And the next 90 days, just like Megan, And now 10 months in of doing it methodically, now you get $100,000 a month. You're like, okay.
My real question is, what do you do now mentally?
Mm-hmm.
So now you have some real choices to make.
Yep.
What am
Yeah.
I going to do with my family time? What am I going to do with my W-2 work time if you still have it?
Mm-hmm.
Is $100,000 a month enough?
Right.
Where does the money go? What do I do with it? Do I roll it in the next deal? And so
True.
those are we can do full talks on that.
Yeah.
Actually, we're going to answer. Jay's got a bunch of questions in here that are kind of relevant to this. So I'll go through those when Joe's done here.
Omar R said I just closed on a 20-acre property I picked up for $12,000, resold it 3 weeks later for $49,000. Home run. That is awesome. I love this. Tasha P says I just crossed the 10 properties sold mark, and I finally feel like I now know what I'm doing. Right? It's like get through that first 10, and then you're either going to love it or hate it. No matter what, you know what you're doing. You've got a lot of stuff figured out. So I remember crying after my first call with a seller. What a journey. Oh, that's so
You know
cool.
what? I did
Thanks.
too.
Yep.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
After getting getting beat up good that first time, I remember that first mailer.
Oh,
You know what my thought was? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to
oh,
get somebody else to answer the
oh,
phone. That was my first thought.
that's funny. And then
This
that
was
could be your goal.
this was in yeah, this is in the
Yeah,
90s.
I love it. Jake and Leah said closed our first seller finance deal with $4,000 down and $327 a month for 5 years. Awesome. Congratulations. Whew. Nally said, I just made the switch from targeting $10,000 acquisition costs to $30,000 plus acquisition costs. Really excited to see what this changes in my business. I love it. You're going to see a difference in the sellers, and
Mhm.
you're going to see a definite difference in the buyers.
Yeah.
Because when you have buyers that are coming to you, north of 80 or $100,000, it's a whole different world than those come to you, to buy for $25,000 because and they're scraping together more or less, you know, they're scraping together 10 grand, here and what they can sell, and versus those $100,000 people, they're sitting on dough and they're like, this is no big deal
Yeah.
a lot of time. And it's just so nice because it is easier. They ask a lot less questions and you're like, wow, what took me so long? So good. Carl brought my sister into this business. She isn't interested in opening her own land business yet, but she's been killing it on the phone.
Oh,
That's awesome. Love bringing in family when it makes sense.
that's so
That's the
good.
key.
That's going to change. That's changing your life, Carl. It
Oh,
frees you
yeah.
up to do the stuff you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. We have some other siblings in the group that some it worked out, and some it didn't work out. So that's really, really great. And I love it. That's how we feel too. Like my first choice is keep it in the family. And when I say family, I keep it in Land Academy. Like if I've got deals, I'm gonna, just kind of like, I don't want this. Somebody interested? It's going in Discord for you all. That's our little family too. So. Okay, question. Oh, do we have some more in here? I sold a difficult property, LOL, the biggest win ever for me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You realize what you can do. This tests you.
Yeah. Oh, yep, I see your note, Jade. We're going to get to that. That's so good. Um, this is great. I'm going to tie those both together. Okay, so we have the question of the week is during closing, the title company told me that I do have mineral rights. I know we only buy based on the surface, but since title confirmed I do in fact have the mineral rights, are there any benefits here? Should I list higher? The property's in Colorado if it makes any difference, Raj. My first question is, what are they supporting that with? I'd like to know, was there an unrelated third party company that they use anyway to check this? I mean, that could be. And then I'd like to see the paper trail showing that. What do you want to say?
What the title company means to say is that if the seller that you're buying this property from
Mm,
has mineral rights, and it says right here that they do. It says right here on the vesting deed that this property comes with mineral rights more than likely. It's not a separate document anywhere. It's right on the deed. What
Mhm.
the title company is saying is you get mineral rights, but they're not confirming or checking or care about what has gone on with that property since it was homesteaded.
So that's what we're both saying the same thing.
So I'm saying this now very clearly and maybe somewhat harshly. The title company has no idea whether or not they're conveying mineral rights.
I would confirm it with an unrelated third party source. And we have someone in our group that has done this in a past life. Like that was their part of their business. So if you want to reach out in Discord and see who's who, hey, is there anybody here, you know, that can do this for me and or recommend somebody, I would do that. So,
Jill and I differ on this.
well, to find out for sure. No, I
Yeah.
don't differ. The no, I'll reiterate what you just said. I don't believe the title company knows. I think they're reading one document and they're assuming, and I would double check their work, period.
You need a mineral rights lawyer to pull every single deed that's happened since it was homesteaded,
Yeah.
since it was deeded from the federal government to the very first owner all the way to you. And what they're going to do is look through past the deeds, all through the deeds, and see if it was conveyed correctly and all that. That's really what a title plant is. But it has nothing to do with mineral rights. And they're going to say at the end of that, it looks like you probably own mineral rights. However, there could be side agreements. There
That's
could
the
be an
problem.
agreement that is completely out of the chain of title, and it's etched on the back of a napkin somewhere in 1894 that says, you know, for this beer, I'm granting you the mineral rights to this property, and then you never know. These issues only ever come up when there's oil under there or
Oh,
something very valuable. And for these reasons, I'm glad this came up.
mhm.
For these reasons, and you allude to it here, we just don't horse around with mineral rights.
So an unrelated third party is just like an outside source.
A lawyer.
Yeah, I want somebody else to double check the title company's work. And maybe, I don't know if they even do this, but it would be nice if that, you know, if they had their own little insurance, you know, to cover what they found. But then going forward, is it worth more? Possibly. And I would make a big deal out of it. And I would show the documents
Like everything,
when you're selling it.
yeah, like everything, it would
Put them
apply
front and
some
center.
common sense. You know, are there silver mines all around the property? Then it might be worth horsing around with this. Like this is really prevalent in Texas and New Mexico,
Okay.
where there's oil everywhere, or natural gas, or all kinds of stuff. So then you really want to figure out what,
No, I'm laughing. Go ahead.
why
Well, I have a comment after this. Go ahead.
you understand.
Do we all watch Landman? I wonder if we do. So, all right. Let's go get to our stuff here. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Let's look at the news.
I hate that we have to wait for them to drop every week. Like, but it's a good
Or
show.
what to drop.
Landman.
Oh, okay. Here's what happened this week over last year. The trend is for median prices is pretty flat. The new listings, a little bit surprising here. That's kind of going up and down, which is good. We want some volatility. You can't make money, or you can, and buying and selling real estate, make money in any market, but it's good when it's going up and down. You can catch some waves instead of just kind of flat. So as far as the number of new listings go, it just seems to be going slightly like this. And it's not going to change our lives one way or the other, but I can tell by the number of deals that Jill and I are doing, specifically housing deals, which I'll talk about in a second, and the number of deals and successes that you're reporting back to us on this call and otherwise.
Mhm.
There's so much stale real estate out there that you're basically setting the price as a buyer.
I'm seeing
That's why we
so
look at this.
much, aren't you? I see
Yeah.
so much available when I go horse around on Zillow, and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Nothing changed on active listings, really.
Mhm.
There's still a lot. 12% more over last year, and 12% more over the year over that and the year over that. So there's a lot of property that's just sitting and aging in place. And this is just property that's listed. You know, we don't deal in listed property.
Mhm.
I put together a simple 10 or 15-minute talk about valuing houses with House Academy methodology. And here, let's take a look.
Was that for today?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I know it says Land Academy right in the title, but this is really important. This is an old actual mailer that Joe and I did in Arizona a lot of years ago. This is the same document that I use in Career Path when we could get to this module about how first we price houses. It's very different than how we price land. And then I'll pull up an actual, I'm gonna just not unrehearsed, pull up a property that's in this mailer, and this is the whole point of this talk. Really look at how, on an asset by asset basis, not the zip code or anything like that, because we have enough data, how, whether or not it's a good deal.
And Jack, you are pivoting to talk a few minutes today on houses because it's so important.
Because we are making a fortune buying and selling houses, and I want
It's
you to also.
something to think
I want
about.
you to do it.
Yeah. And then I'm going to add real quick in here. You're like, well, shoot, who's going to fund this stuff? Don't worry, and you'll see why.
What we do in Deal Complete, we have an automated function where you can upload all the information that it requests, where you want to, what zip codes you want to look at, and all of that. And what it does is we offer what's called a smart pricing service. This asset, you can see here, the goal is to get these properties, this property specifically, here's the address. This is an actual mailer, so it's not as presentational as it could be. This property, 1887 East Lindrick in Chandler, Arizona. According to the internet, all places around the internet, this is a few years ago now, on Trulia, it's worth 213, 211, 198,000, and on and on. When you average all of these, it's worth $203,000. Well, I want to make sure that the difference between the sale price and the purchase price on my side, I buy it for less and sell it for more, is $80,000 more. So, and I can put anything I want in there, but for this mailer, I elected to do $80,000. Now it's closer to $100,000 to $125,000 because we like to make sure that we're going to make $100,000 on a deal.
Well, and the assets are worth more.
Yeah, the numbers are.
Yeah.
We're going to find out in a second, this Lindrick property, what the deal is really.
So he's like backing into the offer price based on a flat amount instead of a percentage. Because the thing is with houses, we're not going to do the same numbers that we're going to do. You're not going to buy for, you're not going to buy for an 80,000 and sell for 320. But with land, you can do it's all over the place. We all know that. So, but it's where it's much more consistent and predictable.
Exactly.
Did you pull up that exact house?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm loving to see what it's worth right now.
Why?
Zillow's still not working?
Works for me all week.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Including
waits.
this morning.
It waits.
Wait, still,
for you.
yeah. Okay, maybe it doesn't work when the camera's on. I don't know.
We all like just watching work anyway.
Well, I'm sure it's what highlight of your day.
Oh, wait, what was the real estate, the realtor? Isn't that funny? Because it was 190 something. They just estimated at 300 now. Cool. I think that's awesome.
This is my point. This is the asset right here. Then now Redfin's got it, or Realtor's got it at $300,000. I am going to buy it for, let's say, because it came back in the mailer, $123,000. Is this a safe bet? Just stopping right here. It's not a bet even. Is this a safe investment to make? This is what I'm trying to convey. And this is what you should be going after. The fact is, I'd be probably happy at this point to spend $200,000 on it, specifically because, and this is the whole point, as I was trying to drive this home with somebody else, and they weren't getting it until I went over it a few times, which has really sparked the idea to do this today. This asset's worth $300,000. Let's say the mailer came back at 200. That makes complete sense to me. In fact, if it were a piece of
Yeah,
land, we'd be
220.
jumping up and down. Sure. Even
Yeah.
220, right?
I do.
225 is probably the top.
Yeah.
What I really need to know is what's happening with these adjacent properties that aren't on the market. So I'm not now at what 220, Jill says,
Mhm.
or my adjacent property here is 327, 329, and these are low 300s, and here's a 300. So at this point, I green light the thing.
Mhm.
Now it just becomes, is there something really seriously wrong with the structure or this deal or the 8As?
Mhm.
It's so much different than land, and in my opinion, so much easier.
You know what I love is you don't even go down this path until you know, and we all know how to do this. You know that, gosh, in this whole subdivision, every 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a 2-car garage, they were all built at the same time in 1991, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, they all went
Yeah,
under
Jill.
contract within 21 days. You're like, well, why would I not jump into this pool?
Right.
Because I know that.
So we've all walked into a 1960s house that's all original. Great shape, but all original. That's harder to resell. Might be better to just rent that out.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you're now controlling an asset when you put it under contract and eventually buy it. You're controlling an asset for less than approximately $100,000 that it's worth than 100 grand. And I'm not talking about renovating houses at all in any way. The other thing too that I've seen happen with us too, is that the author has accepted, and for some reason, it's what Joe is saying about the age and the floor plan and the like kind of square footage and all that stuff is not the same. For maybe sometimes it's very popular in Western Phoenix, for example, for people to fill in their garage and make another bedroom. That really hurts the resale value of the house. So there's weird stuff that can happen in a second part of due diligence.
Yeah.
The whole goal is to use data as much as you can, this type of data. This is cheating. I feel like I get a little, twinge in a good way in my stomach when these things happen. It's like we're about to buy an asset for less than $100,000 or under $100,000 what it's worth. So when you get to this point, you utilize this data here, you utilize the mail, and you've got somebody who for whatever reason and is going through something in their life that they want to sell their property or they just want to get rid of it. Who cares why?
Yeah.
That's winning.
Exactly.
We're in this kind of market because there's so much aging in place with real estate. But land's always running in the background for us, both from a funding standpoint for other people, an acquisition standpoint for ourselves. But we've really upticked our houses, our house and mobile home operation, and this is exactly how we look at it.
I was saying it's important for you to not only have this on your radar, but think about what's coming, really soon. There's going to be a lot of properties changing hands again in the housing market.
I agree with
A lot of
you
people are
completely.
waiting.
Yeah.
They were waiting, and then they're going to be done waiting, and you're going to be ready to go. So this is so good. Couple, Mark, Bay, and Chris all confirmed it's not you, it's Zillow, by the
Oh,
way.
good.
So
Oh, good. Okay.
yeah. And we do, Tracy, the numbers are typically more mail per good house deal. But so what? It doesn't matter when you make $50,000 off the first house deal or 60 or 75, whatever it is, then you're like, well, that paid for the mailer, and then you get 3 more. You're like, okay, we're good.
Jill's exactly right. So here's the raw math on that. A
Yeah.
10,000 unit mailer done well should yield a property-ish. And that 10,000 unit mailer can cost maybe $7,000 to $10,000, but in our case, we're making 100 grand.
Yeah, who
Maybe
cares?
to $100,000. So we stopped talking about mail expense. Have we ever talked about it
No, in the
decade?
last 10 years, we haven't talked about
Yeah.
mail expense. I don't think we ever talked about mail expense because
Mhm.
every time we were ever in a jam financially, we weren't sending enough mail.
That's it. Wow, that's the quote of the day.
Thank you.
You can buy your way out of
Low inventory or
lack
slow business.
of pipeline.
Yeah. Send more mail. And then if you do it, and then you're like, watch what happens. And then in 90 days, you're like, whoa, oh gosh, now I have all these deals. I gotta catch up. That's where you want to be.
If you have too much transaction and you feel like you're not doing deals because you're being so conservative that there's deals in there that maybe earlier in your career you would have done, put them on Discord in partnership with somebody who's newer.
Yeah. And watch coming up the end of the year. This is a time too. People are like, ooh, we're preparing to do this family trip, or I didn't realize how this year was shaking out financially for us, or I can't believe my wife bought that for Christmas.
January is
You know,
a
so
huge
there's a lot of
acquisition.
people that, yeah, even in December, be ready for it. We should talk about that. Maybe we can remember that for in 2 weeks. It might be fun to bring back the how do I handle deals at the very end of the year? Because you're going to get a call that someone says, if you can do this in 2025, you can have it. And you need to be ready to go. I love those calls. We can get to the stuff now.
Yes,
Okay, cool. Great presentation. Do you have any more you want to share with us?
that's about it. Mortgage rates are down a little bit, but not enough to really talk about. I believe politically that mortgage rates are going to go very down here in the next 2 quarters.
Okay. Now we're going to switch over to your questions on the minimum. Am I doing that okay? Where's personal fact?
Here.
I'll let you do it. Okay. And then I'll go to the questions. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Caesar. Yeah, I think this is the new way of doing it. He says audio is awesome. We don't look so good,
Good.
but we sure sound good. Just kidding. That's great. Okay, cool. And let's see, I'm opening up all the questions in here. We will get to them. Isn't that funny how, I mean, we were hanging on to 10 plus years of experience with the big road mics. We're like, is this still the best way? I'm not sure. I know we're all confirming that. You don't have to carry all that around. We did some old podcasts. I don't know if you've ever seen them on YouTube where we did like filming on location, like on a pier in the LA area, like a pier in Redondo Beach, and Jack hauled all this equipment in a big video camera. It took like an hour or more to set it all up. And then we had all this background noise. It was a crack up. So if you haven't seen those and you're really bored sometime, go watch them. And then you can see how different we look, because that's kind of funny too.
And if you're in film school, you can know how not to do everything
Oh,
in about 15 minutes of watching anything that we do.
exactly. You'll know right away all the things we did wrong. Okay. So Jade said, what's your favorite and least favorite parts about working with your spouse?
My favorite part about working with Jill is looking at our income statement and our balance sheet at the end of every month. Because it's bigger and better and
Good.
faster
I like that.
than if it would just be me on my own or with a different party. As far as the negatives go, we don't have enough time.
I was going to say, be careful. That's not nice.
And it's not Jill. And it's not me.
No,
It's just the nature of working with your
it's
spouse.
hard. Yeah, the positives are he never has to explain what's going on. I don't even want to know half the time. Actually, it's really nice. I'm like, all I need to know is you got this. And he's like, I got it. Thank you. I trust
And
you.
vice versa, totally.
So that's some of the positive. And then some of the negative is in the beginning, I think we're really good now. But in the beginning, it was hard to turn off work. That would be it. And it would be in our bathroom every morning talking about work. I'm like, we got to stop this. So
Someone has to be the boss. And, when's the last time you've ever heard of a company that has co-CEOs? It just doesn't exist.
his favorite term.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And so, and I think in a functional marriage, you've got a bunch of stuff that's got to go on. And it's more natural for some reason in that and for social environment, not in a money environment, where it's just like you're going to take care of this side of the stuff. I'm going to
True.
take this, what's going on the outside of the house, I'm going to do. What's going on the inside of the house, Jill's going to do. And it's natural. That doesn't convey, not just with us, but I think with everyone,
Yeah.
when it's at work, when everybody's on a computer, and it's just different.
It's true.
For some reason, people who are in an interpersonal relationship are more prone to confrontation when stuff goes on at work than without it, without clearly defined military-like roles.
Yeah. Okay, Jade said, I made more money this year. I love it. Than in the last 10 years combined. This is only tea, but cheers. It won't be tea later. And I will totally toast you, Jade. I am so happy for you guys. I'm I'm clueless as to what to do to set myself up for future success. Other than continuing to invest in land, what should I be doing? Stocks, rental houses?
So here's the thing, and this is a fantastic question. This is a man plan question. I set up a rule a long time ago for myself, not because I wanted to, but when you screw a lot of stuff up, you start to look to the future and say, I don't want to do this I don't want to screw this stuff up anymore. What can I do to make some changes next time? And I came up with this rule for myself. Never expense equity. I'm not going to go into why I came up with the rule because it's pretty brutal financially, but when you make, let's say you put in $30,000 to start in your business, and you put it into a bank account. You put that $30,000 in, you send a bunch of mail out, then money comes out of there. Then it's little things come out. You set up a mailbox, whatever goes on in your company, and then you buy the first deal, whether you fund it through somebody else or yourself. And now your balance that you started with went from 30,000 to 20,000 to 15, and then you sold a property, and now your balance is $60,000. Take that $30,000 out, put it back where you got it, but pay off your investor, put it back in your personal bank account, whatever. Give it back to your wife. I would highly recommend doing that. And then keep doing it. And so now you've got 60, 80, 90, 100,000, 200,000, or whatever those numbers are. You file a tax return, you pay the taxes on it, you use the same money in there to do that. You can't expense it, but that's a different story. And then now you've got a bunch of money left over, plus all this money that you pulled out of the company, you got taxed on it. That's equity. That's part of your net worth. Do not expense that
Other
under
than
any circumstance.
houses, do you think at this point, other than houses, is there anything else Jay should think about with all this leftover dough?
It's very logical to figure out for you what makes sense from a real estate standpoint, because now you know about it. So going to learn about buying stocks, I don't own a share of stock. Jill and I do not. And we have in the past, and it's never gone well.
Yeah.
Largely because we're spoiled as hell. We
Can't make the same returns. We're
buy
not
for
that.
30, sell for 180,000, and the whole thing happens in 30 days. That's just
Mhm.
not going to happen anywhere else.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is continue to reinvest money in, but do not expense equity. Most of our money is in FDIC insured certificates of deposit.
Mhm.
Oh my God, Jack, you're an idiot. Yes. And here's why. Because diversification of a portfolio, ask anybody, is key. Absolutely imperative to, here's a real risky investment. Here's a zero risk investment, which is a CD. So I have money. We do risky stuff according to any kind of market
Mhm.
that would, anyone would agree that buying and selling land from just a dollars perspective and a profit margin perspective is very risky. I don't see it that way. So that satisfies my risk bucket. So now if I have a bunch of money in CDs that are throwing off 4.5% or some number like that, and they're FDIC insured, now I can work my way backwards to a bank balance. Remember I was talking about the equity that you're plowing in, your personal equity? I can work my way to a bank balance where 4 or 5% of that I can live on and be happy. So for example, if my goal is $10 million and I'm getting 5%, these are round numbers. Now I'm making before tax $500,000 a year, $50,000 a month, let's say, pretty much after tax. And we can live on that
Mhm.
happily. We can live on it